Stupid lab advertisements here. It's the network, bruh. Hit me with a bruh if y'all can hear me. I'm gonna start up GNS3. Let's pray to the network gods and hope that this application launches up just fine. I spent all weekend trying to troubleshoot this thing. What is going on, Danny? Shout out to Danny. Hit me with a bruh if you can hear me in the chat room there. Shout out to Danny for being the first one in here. Give me a second there, Danny. We're going to give a couple people some time to log in. I know we have some last minute people coming in sometimes. Anyway, today's lab, while we waiting on people to come in, I'm going to go ahead and do the labeling and launch up these nodes here. Today's lab is configuring VTP Transparent mode. Yes, I'm talking to you with my mouth full of water. Configuring VTP Transparent mode. Y'all know what that is, right? Transparent mode. Hopefully none of these devices crash on me. I've been having not bad luck, but it's just been kind of iffy with me with GNS3 here. Hey yo, what is going on? Yes, you're gonna get the CCNA. Promise you will. I promise you're gonna get your CCNA. Especially if you come excuse me, lab with us daily. I'm gonna try to do this. I said I'm gonna commit myself to doing these live labs excuse me, Monday through Friday around 8 o'clock. Not Monday through Friday, I'm sorry, Monday through Thursday 8 o'clock, because I have my daughter on the weekend, so I can't really do it then. But anyways, this extension may be dangerous. Minimize that bad boy. Anyways, this lab, if y'all don't know, is going to be in the lab guide called 101 Labs Cisco CCNA version 4 by Paul Browning and Farai Tafa. This is a good book. You can use this with packet tracer. You could use this with you know, actual hardware. I have router switches, wireless LAN controllers, access points, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, I got all kinds of stuff over here. One day I'm gonna do a video of all, you know, my equipment in the lab, but I like to do it on GNS3 so that way y'all can physically see the logical topology and y'all can see what we're working with here, right? So we need two switches here. If in case none of y'all, well, I'll show y'all what it looked like anyway. This is gonna be switch 1. Got another one, switch 2 right here. Now, hopefully none of these bad boys crash on me. AO said virtual telepathy or something like that. I don't know. It'd be smart to get the CCNA with little experience. Hey, listen, man. Before I got my CCNA, I was about, I say 5 years, 6 years deep in the game of IT. But I was doing, you know, just, I hate to say it, but mediocre IT jobs. I was doing desktop support, help desk, a PC technician, you know, just basic like IT jobs where you know, rebooting PCs and fixing printers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I worked at the police department and we have like all kind of technologies and stuff like that. But, you know, I just got tired of it and you don't really make that much money doing that. So what I ended up doing, let's go ahead and console into one of these bad boys. Actually, let's go ahead and power this guy on, console into him, and hopefully this don't crash. You're reading Paul's book right now, Paul Browning, right? Yeah, he's from the UK. He used to be in law enforcement actually for about 10 years or something like that, 20 years, and then he switched over to IT, and this is what he does, man. Great guy. He has him and Farai published a couple of these books right here. I just realized that this is the 4th version of it. Again, I have a link in the description box down below, and you can get you a copy of this book right here. Love this book so far. We are on this, I guess this is lab 19. Still waiting on a couple people to log on here. We also need 2 routers. Also, Danny, Yeah, don't fret, man. I for the first 5 years, I was doing just basic IT jobs, and I said I wanted to do something that's like a little bit more, get paid more for one, and two, that's got more responsibility, something a bit more challenging, right? And every time we had some, networking issues, oh boy, there it go. Okay, so I thought something was gonna. That's another thing I've been noticing, that these nodes weren't popping up when I try to drag them onto the topology there. So while you guys do that, if you have GNS3 or even Packet Tracer, you can do this on Packet Tracer. Go ahead and set up your topology to look like this right here. Router 1 and router 2 like that. It's almost like the last lab we did. 2 switches at the bottom like this. They don't have to be layer 2, layer 3. They could be layer 2. And then we're just going to cable these bad boys up, right? Let's get some labeling here. So let's switch this guy up real quick. He's going to be switch 1. The next guy's going to be switch 2. Y'all see it loading up. Hopefully it don't crash like it did a couple videos back. Which Paul book is that? Again, it is the 101 Cisco CCNA version 4 by Paul Browning and Farai Tafad. There should be a link in the description box below. I want to change this guy to switch 2. Again, I said I'm going to commit myself to doing these Monday through Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Y'all got to understand, after work, I had to go pick up my car. I had some stuff to do, like, I got my daughter's birthday coming up. So I felt like I was racing. I didn't even eat yet, man. I didn't get to work out today. I said, I got to get this lab in. So since Cisco got rid of the CCENT, who does the CCENT level networking? Well, define CCENT, entry level, because CCNA is considered an entry level certification as well. So basically they took all of that stuff and put it in this same exam. Now, if you want to say something that's a little bit below the CCNA, then you can go for the Network Plus by CompTIA, which is a vendor neutral cert. I personally wouldn't recommend it. If you really want to, get a majority of the basics down with the thing is with CCNA, it's focused on Cisco technologies, but you do get a lot of the basics with networking. But I personally wouldn't do the Network Plus if I was to do it over again. The only reason why I did it was because I wanted to start. I felt like I was starting from the ground up, and I did know, I was like 2 or 3 years deep in the game of IT. But I just felt like I wanted that under my belt. I wanted a little bit more certs and later on you'll realize you don't need too many certs to make it, So going off on a tangent here. I need to cable these bad boys up. He is going to be FA01 to, well, I guess it's going to be a gigabit. So we'll go give it 01 to 01, and then we're going to go 0 to 02 on the routers. So this is just like the last lab. So from 00 to 02 here, same thing with this guy, 00 to 02, and your interfaces might be a little different from you guys. You might have a fast Ethernet port instead of gigabit right there. Just try to follow along as much as you can. Just know that the interfaces might be a little different here. Giving still some time for some people to log on here. We're almost done with the basic housekeeping here. We're powering all these bad boys up. So once again, try to get your topology to look like this right here. It's like setting banner messages, etc. Yeah, you're better off just going with the CCNA if that's the case, But if you want to focus on Juniper technologies, Juniper has their own associate level, and you can set banners, messages, log on, prompts and stuff like that on a Juniper router. I'm not too familiar. I'm a Cisco fanboy, so I don't really know too much about the Juno OS. But yeah, you're as far as the entry level certs, there's CCNA. Yeah, I think it's JNCIA, which is the Juniper. We got my man Gonzalo in the building. I was waiting on you, bro. Anyways, Juniper's got the GNCIA certification, I believe. That's the associate level for Juniper certifications. Juniper Technologies, and then there's the Network Plus, which is vendor neutral, meaning they don't focus on Fortinet, or they don't focus on one specific vendor. They just talk about the basics of networking. Again, if I was to do it over again, it depends on how much I know before I would take the Network Plus. Yeah, so I would definitely suggest buying this book. It's only, I think, like $40, maybe $30 or something like that. There's a link down below. Maybe I'll copy and paste it in the chat after this lab here. So we got all these bad boys powered up. I guess we're about 12 minutes into this lab. Getting a couple people more to log on here. I was waiting on my man Gonzalo over there. Fat Finger Squad in the building. That's the slow version. We got the faster version. We got the slower version. We also got the filtered version. Anyway, let me stop playing with y'all. I think that's all we're going to have people in here. I guess it's about 5 or 6 of y'all in here. Let's go ahead. Y'all ready to go? If y'all want to, we can start now. So both of these guys are going to be in VTP Transparent mode. If y'all know anything about VTP, remember we said in the last video, we created all the VLANs on one switch, right? And instead of manually creating them on this one, we made this guy a server, that guy a client, created all the VLANs there and let them propagate across the trunk. And then they got, they got copied over to this other switch right here. That's what VTP client and server mode does, right? The server, you can create them on there, and then the client just receives all the VLANs, right? Now, VTP, Gonzalo's like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? VTP Transparent mode is all the VLANs are that you create on a switch. They don't propagate to anybody else. They stay locally on him, right? And other switches, they might have VLANs pass through him. That's why it's called transparent mode. They can pass through him, but they won't be created on me. So like if I'm in transparent mode, right, and another switch is right next to me and he's propagating VLANs towards me, like let's make pretend it's an STD, right? He gives me an STD or VLANs across my trunk, right? Gives it to me. I'm not gonna get it because I'm in transparent mode, but I'm gonna pass it on to somebody else. They just go through me. That's why they call transparent mode. Sorry for that analogy there, but yeah, that's what VLAN transparent mode is, or VTP transparent mode. So we said this guy's gonna be switch 1. This is basic housekeeping here. We already know, right? We need to go to enable mode, global config mode. Oh, by the way, this is not the switch with the ether switch module attached. This is an actual switch, so I was finally able to get it working over the weekend here, right? We changed the host name with just host name, right? He's gonna be switch 1. And what else we said we was gonna do? We was gonna make him in transparent mode, right? Do y'all know the default mode for a switch in VTP? Is it client, server, or transparent? That's y'all pop quiz for today. Princess said, no, my laptop is over there across the room. Someone get it for me, please. Somebody go get it for her. Princess, you making excuses here. Lab every day. Lab every day. It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. All right, so he switched 1. Anybody know the default mode for VTP? Before I hit that, before I check the status on that, I'm gonna let y'all guess what that is. Anybody? Let's go ahead and console in the switch 2 while everybody guesses. We also had 2 VLANs to configure here. Looks like the sales VLAN and the management VLAN. Let's go back to switch 1 and do that. Danny said server. That's correct. VTP is the default mode is server mode. So if we do show, and we can prove that with show VTP status, right? And that's correct. Danny is right. Server mode. Chelsea, you was almost there. Danny beat you to the punch. But yes, it's server mode, meaning you can create all the VLANs on a switch, and then he can modify them, he can delete them, he can add VLANs, and then he could propagate them to everybody else, to the clients. Transparent, obviously, is not going to get it because he's transparent, so all the VLANs just going to pass through him, right? So it's like he's like immune to VLANs from anybody else, but he can create them within himself. And that's what VTP Transparent mode is. Lab objective, I forgot to read that, y'all. The objective of this lab is for you to learn and understand how to configure VTP Transparent mode on the Catalyst switch. By default, all Cisco switches are VTP server devices. So that was the answer right there. VTP Transparent mode configuration is a fundamental skill. VLANs configured on a switch in VTP Transparent mode are not automatically propagated to other switches, just like I said, within the same VTP domain, as would be done by a VTP server. Switches configured in VTP Transparent mode use a trunk. Remember, we did that in the last video. This guy's going to be a trunk to forward traffic for VLANs configured to other switches. So we create them on here, right? And then the VLANs will propagate to other ones, right? But apparently we're going to make both of these guys transparent mode. So they just both going to be transparent. I wonder if they can see each other, right? As a Cisco engineer, as well as in the Cisco CCNA exam, you'll be expected to learn how to configure VTP Transparent mode. Let's move on here. So we got, we need to create a VLAN. So y'all remember how to do that, right? Configure terminal. And we just said we have a VLAN called the sales VLAN. And that's in Vlan 2010, right? So Vlan 2010, it gets created. We're going to say name, and it is the sales in all caps. Sales. And then we also have Vlan 2030, the management VLAN. So we could just say Vlan 2030 like that. Name. Y'all hit me with that like button, man. I promise y'all, I was racing to get over here. I said, I got to get this done. I got to get this done. I'm a commit myself to trying to do these labs every day. If I could type up over here, managers. Did I say managers or management? Management. Management. So that's the management VLAN. We got this. Once you, by the way, the VLANs don't get created until you get out of Vlan configuration mode. So you can still be in here in that VLAN mode. The VLANs won't be created. I'll show y'all in the next switch. But now we can just do show Vlan Brief. And you will see there's the VLANs we created. Vlan 2010 sales, Vlan 2030 management. What else they say they want us to do? We don't want to, we also got, I guess we can go to router 1 and create that that interface. That first interface needs to be 10.0.0.1/28. So this right here, that right there needs to be 10.0.0.1/28. So we'll go ahead and console into him. I'm kind of jumping around here. I should have started with this one, that one, and then that one. So I'm going to router 1, y'all. My man Johnny Nieves in the building. Get it, get it, get it. I hope you got this book, man, so you can follow along. If you don't have this book, that's fine. Just launch up Packet Tracer. You could do this lab too. So this is like some simple commands. You should be able to run this on Packet Tracer, Johnny. So we're on router 1. We're going to configure that interface right there, FA00. That's the fast Ethernet port, right? So we're going to go to global config mode, interface, FA0/0. I'm sure y'all know how to configure IP addresses, right? If not, then this is a quick review. And don't feel bad about asking questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question around here, all right? I'm not a professional at this. We're all learning together, all right? I'm going to talk to you about this later on after this lab. So that interface was 10.0.0.1. So IP address 10.0.0.1/28 is 255.255.255. You said /28, right? So yeah, Pepper Jack. There are actually, I work for a large enterprise hospital, system. They were using fast Ethernet interfaces, but we were also doing a switch refresh project. So therefore we was getting rid of the switches that still had fast Ethernet ports. So believe it or not, there are some enterprises that still use fast Ethernet ports. Even serial interfaces. So that's why serial interfaces are still on the CCNA exam. But good question, Pepper Jack. Anybody know what the last octet is for a /28 subnet? /28 subnet. I already know it. I'm just quizzing y'all, right? So while y'all figure that out, I'm going to console in the switch 2. And then let's see. I'm gonna console in a switch 2. Y'all give me a second, all right? Yes. No, I didn't, but I'm busy right now. I'll tell you later. All right, so switch 2. Yes, Pepperjack got it right. It's .240. So I'm gonna go back to router 1, 240. That's the subnet mask. We got to make sure on a router the interface is by default down. So you got to do a no shut, and that's gonna bring it up, and you should get a log message. Fat Finger Squad in the building. Y'all make sure y'all don't make no mistakes, because y'all remember, I'll never forget that BGP lab. I made a mistake, and it was just typo. It took me damn near an hour to get BGP back up and running again, all because I made a typo. Let's check our interfaces. Show IP interface brief. Exclude the unassigned ones. And, ooh, I only got one interface there. I need to get some WIC slots in here. But yeah, it's up 10.0.0.1, so we're good right there. We'll go to switch 2 and create the VLANs. Same VLANs. No, not the same VLANs. We're going to create different VLANs. There's going to be one different VLAN. So let's change the host name. Go to enable global config mode. And the host name is switch 2, SW2. Chelsea got it right. And AO got it right. But guess what? Y'all 2 steps behind Pepperjack. Shout out to my man Pepperjack for getting that correctly. He's quick on the draw there. Quick draw McGraw. VLAN 2010 is the sales again. So we're going to go to VLAN configuration mode. We just do VLAN. Are the previous labs posted on the channel? Yes, they are, Princess. Just go into, there's a playlist. It just says LiveLabs, and you can see all the other LiveLabs. Kiari, girl, you keep walking in late, but that's cool. I'm gonna let you pass again. VLAN 2010, right? That puts you in VLAN configuration mode. The name is sales, all caps. And then watch this. Remember I told y'all when you're in VLAN configuration mode, the VLANs aren't created yet, right? But right there I put VLAN 2010 and the name was sales, right? But if we do a show VLAN, if I can get rid of the D, you see VLAN 2010 is not there. Y'all see that? You just started your first labs in the book. Good job, Kiori. But if we get out, right, exit, right, and then do a show VLAN brief, rather. Show VLAN brief. I had to get out of that too. That thing is slow. Now you see it's there. You see that VLAN 2010 sales. So the VLAN does not get created until you get out of VLAN configuration mode. So that's something else to note. If you like doing a quick show VLAN and you see it's not there, that's the reason why. And we also got VLAN 2040, which is the director's VLAN, all caps. So same thing, y'all. Go to global config mode, which is configuration terminal, and then we just do VLAN 2040, and we say name directors. Let's take a look at our VLANs by show VLAN brief. It's already 8:25. I didn't eat, y'all. I didn't eat. I didn't work out. I was just so busy. I had a lot today. But I said I'm gonna stay committed to make sure we get these live labs done daily. Even when I get my CCNP, I'm gonna still be doing these, y'all. That was it. There's no ports gonna be in the 2040 VLAN, but we are gonna put switch FA02 in the sales VLAN, I believe, on both switches. So task 1 was in preparation of VLAN, configure host name and switches on switch 1 and 2. We did that. Routers 1 and 3. So we got to do router. I don't know why they call it router 3, but there's only 2 routers in here. So this is router 2. Let's go ahead. Did we console into him yet? Yeah, we did. Router 2 is over. For sure, Pepperjack. I'm going to try to do these again Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time, 8 o'clock. So router 2, go ahead and console into him. Kiari, this is, by the way, similar to the last lab. What you missed so far is remember the last lab we did VTP client mode and server mode, right? All the VLANs can be created on the server. He can modify them, he could delete them, he could add VLANs, he could do that, right? And he can pass them on to the client, right? This is VTP Transparent mode. Transparent mode just basically means he can create VLANs within himself. He can add VLANs, he can delete VLANs, but he's not going to propagate them to anybody else. Matter of fact, just think of it like I was telling the class. They're like, it's like an STD, but you can't catch it because you're transparent. So just think about the STD coming to you through the trunk, right? But they go past you because you're in transparent mode. So all the other VLANs from everybody else go through you, but they won't be created within you, if that make any sense. So I'm sorry for the bad analogy, but that's the first thing I thought of when I said transparent mode. So just think of transparent mode as somebody with the condom on. He just not gonna catch nothing, right? So we got what else we needed to do? We needed to do the trunk too. Don't forget, we got to make this guy a trunk. That guy right there, we got to make him a trunk. Johnny wants to know where I'm from. Johnny, I'm originally from Harlem, New York. I moved down here in Orlando, Florida, Kissimmee to be exact, in 1991. We needed to do router 2, I guess. We needed to make that interface right there. That's 10.0.0.3/28. Let me get some labels here so that way anybody that popped in here, whoever came in late, can see what we got as far as the labeling goes. So 10.0.0.3/28, right? Y'all get that? That's what this one got to be. And then the next interface over there was the label. That's 10.0.0.1/28 subnet, right? Y'all get that so far? I don't know why he grabbed him too. Yeah, Sir lags a lot. I'm sorry, that's the first thing I thought of when I said that. Just think of that. Remember, transparent mode is like you got the condom on. You're not gonna catch nothing. All the VLANs is gonna pass right through you. So FA00, this port we gotta configure that interface right there. So go to global config mode, interface. Y'all hit me with that like button if y'all like this video and what y'all see so far. Again, we're gonna do these Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The IP address, which by the way, I didn't get to do. I was on the Cisco CCNA exam blueprint, the tutorials that I used to do before these LiveLabs. I was going through each bullet point, right? And I stopped right at configuring interfaces. So if y'all need to know how to configure an interface, super simple. But this is how you do it. You go to global config mode, interface, blah, 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 and then IP address, and then whatever the IP address is. So in this case, 10.0.0.3. And then Pepperjack, Chelsea, and AO told me the last subnet for a subnet mask /28 is 255.255.240. And then by default, the router is in shutdown mode, so you got to no shut it to bring it up. Let's take a look at what we got so far. Show IP interface brief. And we see it's up. So good. What else we needed to do with router 2? I think that was it. Yeah. Configure, verify switch 1 and switch 2 in transparent mode. Both switches should be in a VTP domain named Cisco. So, okay. Let's go back to switch 2. Remember we said, oh, we got a duplex mismatch here. Y'all see what's going on here, right? This is another troubleshooting thing. Why not Fridays and Saturdays? Princess, I got my daughter on that day, and I got to spend time with her, you know? Y'all notice this error right here, duplex mismatch. If y'all remember, if you don't know anything about, you know, half duplex and full duplex, if you got two ports that are not matching, I did a tutorial on this about 2 or 3 videos back, right? One side of the port got to be in full duplex, then the other one got to be in full duplex. Or they both got to be in auto, or they both got to be in half. But if they mismatching, you're going to get this error right here. So we got a mismatch on switch 2. And you see this keeps coming. Half duplex, right? So he's probably getting that error on switch 2, this guy right here, with router 2. So he's got a duplex mismatch right here. One of these is in half duplex. One of these is probably in full or something, right? So let's go with switch 2 and check that interface right there, GI02, right? We do a show run interface GI0/2 building config. That's a slow router, man. Show interface is a good one, you right? But notice he's in auto configuration, and then router 2. If we look at that interface to see what that configuration is, show interface. Let's do what Pepperjack says. Show interface status, right? Oh, you can't do it on a router. That's a switch command. So watch, show interface status. That's what Pepperjack was trying to point out. if we do show interface status, you can see whether it's in full or half or whatever. It's in full. They're all in full, right? But in the routers, you can't do that. So you gotta check the configuration. What up, CLI Soldier in the building? Show run interface FA0/0, and you can see that's in half duplex. So basically, that port is in half duplex, and this port is in auto. They both got a match. So let's go ahead and make him full duplex, right? So we're gonna go to global config mode for interface FA0/0, and then do a Miss Danielle Williams. That's my life, y'all. That is we'll talk about her in a little bit. But anyways, FA00, we are going to put that port in full duplex, right? So we're gonna say duplex full, right? And that should stop that error. So we go to switch 2. We might have to force that one as well. Pepperjack, you're right. We might need to do speed 100 to make the speeds match, or we could just leave it as is. But I think that should stop that error right there. So y'all get that, right? If anybody's got any questions, basically, if you got one side, depending on the speed in the duplex, they got to match. If you get if they don't match, you're gonna get this error right here. Duplex mismatch. Shout out to my man CLI Soldier in the building. He is a network engineer and like fintech, I believe, right? He is a fintech engineer for a large corporation. I can't remember which one, but Princess, I guess he had. Oh yes, that's right. So yes, quality time. I would do it. Trust me, I would do this daily if I could, and lab every day. But you know, I got a life. I love this stuff. But yeah, so as y'all can see, that stopped the error. So we might have to do the same thing here. We might get a speed mismatch duplex here. So let's go to switch 2. Switch 1. Oh, I'm consoled into him twice. Switch 1 is right there. So we did get that same error. So y'all do the same thing if y'all getting this error too. That needs to be in full duplex, and this got to be on full duplex for them to match, right? So what caused them to be off? Aren't they usually set to automatic? That is true, they are, but depending on the platform, it might be set to half. And I believe which one was set to half? The router was set to half because it's in fast Ethernet. It's a fast Ethernet port, just like Pepperjack said. Who still uses fast Ethernet? Those were typically half duplex back in the day, but nowadays, like you said, by default, you want to leave them on auto so that way they auto negotiate. It's like, hey, you on full duplex? The other one's like, yeah, I'm on full duplex. Okay, well, let's negotiate. And then you're not going to get this error here. So back to switch 1. We got to do the same thing. I forgot what I was at here. So enable show run interface GI0/2. He is in auto negotiation, right? But we go to router 1 and do the check the interface for FA00 0/0. That makes sense, Princess? That's in half duplex. See, so it depends on the platform. By default, nowadays they make them in auto negotiate, but that model right there, that's the older model, I guess, and that's an old fast Ethernet port. Fast Ethernet is a thing of the past. That's exactly what Pepperjack said. However, I worked for a large enterprise hospital system. They had several 3750s that were still running fast Ethernet ports, right? But we were doing a switch refresh project, so we were getting rid of those. But yeah, you're right. Fast Ethernet is a thing of the past, depending on what organization you're you're referring to. So, and no, it was not a hospital in some third world country. It was a large organization. Matter of fact, they span across the United States. I'm not gonna say which organization it is, but they have millions of dollars going into this project that we were doing. Anyways, we were upgrading our switches. So go to global config mode and change that to full duplex. Same thing here, right? Jesus Christ. Interface FA0/0. We're gonna say duplex full, and that should stop the error on switch 1, right? That's switch 1 right there. Cool. In lab. Yep, that's correct. Chelsea. Shout out to Chelsea, what? You from Virginia, right? Danielle, my girlfriend, is from Virginia as well. She is in the building. She is from what? Warrenton, right? Small town population. I'm not gonna say, but it's a small town. Let's see here. So we need to configure this guy as a trunk. That was step 3. Oh, we didn't even do the transparent mode. Let's go back to the switches and put in transparent mode. So y'all notice the error stopped, right? Global config mode. To put it in transparent mode, you just do VTP mode transparent, setting it, and by default it's in server mode, right? Kenitha, damn, coming in here with the hate. Let's see here. And then we had to put the domain as just Cisco. Danville. Shout out to Danville in the building. VTP, to put the domain, you just do VTP domain. Really simple command here. VTP domain, all caps, Cisco. Fat Finger Squad in the building. Don't let me make any mistakes. Please point it out, y'all, if I make a mistake. And notice we got an error. I'm not an error, but just a log message letting us know that we changed it. Chelsea, you know Warrenton. Yeah, I guess it's, I don't know how far it is from Danville, but that's where she from. Configure and verify FAZ. So yeah, we got to do the trunk here, right? But let's go to switch 2 and do the same thing. Put it in transparent mode and also the domain as a Cisco. Again, global config mode, VTP mode, transparent. Right now he's in transparent mode, right? We can verify that with well, let's do the domain, VTP domain Cisco, all caps, right? And we can verify our work with show. I need to take these log messages off. Show VTP status, and you'll see there's the domain name, Cisco, and we are also in transparent mode. Y'all get that so far? Y'all with me? It's 8:39. I wanted to try to knock these out within an hour. I think the difficulty on this was only like 5 out of 10, but they don't have them in the new lab book. I said this a million times. We need to configure this guy as a trunk. Y'all remember how to do that from the last lab, right? Go back to switch 1 and go to global config mode, which we are. Interface GI0/1, switch port mode trunk. That hard codes it as a trunk, right? And then look at it, check this error out here. Command rejected. An interface whose trunk encapsulation is auto cannot be configured to trunk mode. The reason why is we need to set it to not just, it's set to auto by default, right? That's something that's by default. We need to make sure that the encapsulation is set to 802.1q, which was it's an open standard. Back in the day, they used to have a standard called a trunking standard called Inter Switch Link by Cisco, but it was only done on Cisco switches. They don't really do that no more, so now all switches use like .1q. So that's why we're getting this error right here. So we need to switch port trunk encapsulation, and notice I do a question mark here, right? We could do .1q, right? Or we could do ISL. But the book called for .1q, which is the open standard, so we just do .1q like that. And now we can try to hard code it as a trunk, right? Switch port. See a live soldier. I hated that. Yeah, I hated that too. I remember trying to upgrade a core switch, and or actually it was an access switch. I was trying to get it to trunk with a core, and for some reason it wouldn't take the command. I just was like, I couldn't figure out for the life of me. And I had a message from one of my homeboys. He was a coworker of mine. I'm like, yo, I can't get this to work. He's like, oh yeah, that command don't work on the new switches now. And I was like, I sat there for like probably a good half hour in the middle of my change trying to figure it out. And this is the reason why. So you got to do trunk encapsulation first, and then you can hard code it as a trunk, switch port mode trunk. And notice I'm not getting that error no more. Can't set to switch trunk because of Cisco ISL. Yup, see? So Cisco CLI soldier knows about that too. So now we can verify that it's a trunk with show interface is trunk, but I don't think it's going to be trunking yet, because I believe you got to do the other side, or it's not shut, right? Show interface is trunk. Yeah, now it's trunking. So there you go. Yeah, for the life of me, man, I spent a good half hour. We had a 2-hour change window, but at the time I was just like sweating bullets because I couldn't figure it out, man, and was able to get it going. So we got to do the other side as a trunk. Y'all remember how to do that, right? So all of that, if you need to rewind or whatever, but we got to do the same thing we did on this side to that side, right? In the last video, we had a router with the ether switch module connected to it. That's the reason why. And then the router has ports. By default, they come shut down. That's why it took me a minute to figure it out, why it wouldn't work. We had to unshut the ports. Y'all remember that in the last video? So, but by default, these ports are already up. So we go to switch 2, go to global config mode and do the same exact thing we did, right? Interface GI 0/1. Now you don't have to do that anymore. 3850s, you just use switch port mode trunk. Yes, I'm aware of that, Johnny. That is true. You don't have to do that anymore because nowadays that command don't even work on the new switches nowadays. So like you said, 3850 and up. GI 01, switch port. I'm gonna show y'all again for y'all that just walked in late. Switch port mode trunk, right? You try to hard code it, you get that error, right? So switch port mode, switch port trunk encapsulation .1Q, not ISL, right? And then switch port mode trunk to hard code it, right? And now it took it that time. Y'all see that? And we can verify that with show interfaces trunk. And now that port is trunking with the 802.1Q encapsulation. So this port is trunking. So theoretically, with the VLANs we created here, they should propagate across here, right? But remember, they're both in transparent mode, right? So it's just like the STD that I can't catch, right? It's going to come across me and I can't catch it because I'm in transparent mode. So any VLANs you create on here, they just going to stay locally within that switch. They're not going to propagate to the other switches. What images am I using? On that switch is the iOS V layer 2. That command right there, 15.2. That image right there. Took me a minute. Like the last video, it kept, not the last video, I want to say 2 videos back, that image kept crashing. I ended up having to use, I believe, Packet Tracer to get the lab going. I can't remember. Yeah, I believe we used Packet Tracer. And then over the weekend, I said, I got to get this going because I'm not going to use no Packet Tracer. That's for junior CCNA. That's for juniors. But not dissing anybody, but we just try to use GNS3 as much as I can. So, but if you need to use Packet Tracer, y'all, don't fret. You can use Packet Tracer to do these commands here. Remember, this is a safe environment, safe space. No dumb questions around here, right? I don't know everything. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Task 4. We got 5 tasks for this lab, right? We're at task 3. We did that already. We're at task 3. Now we're at task 4. Configure and verify VLANs 2010 and 2030, which we did a couple minutes back on switch 1. With the names provided above. So we did the VLANs that we created for y'all that just walked in late, right? We just do show Vlan Brief. If y'all know how to create VLANs, go ahead and do that to get caught up, right? 2010 in sales. And what did you say that you use? I use GNS3 instead of Packet Tracer. Basically, it's an emulator and that uses real switch and router images, whereas Packet Tracer is a simulator. It doesn't. It's like fake routers and switches that you're using, but it gets you through. It gets you by to get. It's enough to pass the CCNA exam. So images are expensive. Yes, they are. Stuck with Packet Tracer. That's cool. That's cool. You can still do this with Packet Tracer. What else we said we needed to do? Track here. So we created those VLANs, right? That's on switch 2. If you need to get caught up, here's switch 1's VLANs. So Vlan Brief. For y'all that walked in late. Kiori. Danielle. That is the VLANs on switch 1. Sales and management. Don't get mixed up now, because on switch 1, management is 2030 VLAN, right? Switch 2, we got directors in 2040. Now remember, if this was in VLAN, if this was in client server mode, whatever VLANs we created on there would have got propagated to here and vice versa, right? But remember, they are both in transparent mode. Oh, shout out to CLI, man. I'm gonna have to make you a moderator. You answer everybody's questions, man. That helps me out right here, man. What else we needed to do? Configure and verify VLANs 2010 and 2040, which we just did, with the names provided, which we just did. Assign FA02 on switch 2 to VLAN 2010. So we need to go to this switch, put that in VLAN 2010, I believe it was. No, 2040. So this interface right here, y'all, needs to be in VLAN, the director's VLAN. So we need to put him in VLAN 2040, right? So go to global config mode, interface GI 0/2. Watching the Cruise. That's a good movie for y'all. I watch a lot of kids movies for obvious reasons. Interface GI02, we say switch port. To put him in a specific VLAN, you just do switch port access VLAN, and then whatever VLAN it is. So in this case, on switch 2, he's supposed to be in VLAN 2040. Don't let me see y'all. That was almost a typo right there. 2040, and we need to hard code it as an access port, right? Switch port mode access, and then on the other switch, so this one right here, GI02, that port right there needs to be in VLAN 2030, right? Let me verify that with y'all. Let me verify that. Configure verify VLANs 2010. Assign FA02 on switch 2. What in this case is GI02 in 2040 as an access port. And that's all he wanted us to do. I thought we got to do the same thing with this guy. I guess not. That's what we did in the last video. I guess we don't have to do it in this video, in this one. Yes, we do. So this one need to be in 2010. That port right there needs to be in 2010. So we go to switch 1. And we need to put that port in the sales VLAN. Global config mode, interface GI 0/2, switch port access VLAN 2010, right? Please don't let me make a mistake, y'all. Point it out if I make a mistake. We're all prone to mistakes here. Remember, this is a safe space. Switch port. Remember, and let's verify if it's already an access port. We could do that with just show interface GI 0/2, and you just do switch port at the end, and that lets you know if it's in access mode, right? Yes, static access. So we don't need to hard code it with that switch port mode access command. It's already an access port. That makes sense? So, and we put him in the correct VLAN, right? We can do that with show Vlan Brief. And yeah, GI02 is in the sales VLAN. Theoretically, we should, I don't know if we'd be able to ping across. Is that what they're going to call for in this? Because they're in separate VLANs and stuff, so yeah, I guess we're supposed to be able to configure router 1 and router 2. It says router 3 in the book. I don't know why would you have a router 3 if there's only 2 routers there. Test VLAN connectivity by pinging between the 2 switches there. So this is task 5. We already configured those ports right there, right? If y'all haven't, go ahead and do that. FA00 needs to be that IP address. FA00 on this one needs to be that IP address, right? And we theoretically should be able to ping across. Cross our fingers here. Pray to the network gods. And go to router 1 and ping 10.0.0.3. Ping, it's ARPing, it's waiting, it hasn't done. No, we did not get a ping across. What is wrong here, y'all? 0 out of 5, so that's not a good sign. Let's go back to router 1 and verify our connectivity, right? Show IP interface brief. If you can spell brief. He is up 10.0.0.1, right? trying to figure out why it would, why would it even ping across? We know that this is trunking, right? So we're gonna troubleshoot from left to right. It's a bonus right here, right? Troubleshooting. So let's verify we got the correct subnet mask. We're gonna verify AO's work, and who else? Who else was in here that gave us that subnet mask, right? Show interface FA 0/0. It is /28, so that's correct, right? The other one was supposed to be /28. 10.0.0.8/28 subnet mask. It is unshut. We need to make sure that switch 1, we don't have that error anymore, right? On switch 1. So we're not getting that mismatch error. GI02 is in the sales VLAN 2010, so that's the sales VLAN right there. Gateway, then next gateway, and next. You're right, Pepperjack. We didn't set any kind of default gateways. They didn't say nothing about setting the default gateway. Do we need to set the default gateway for both of these guys? Is that what you're saying? Default gateway? Pepperjack? Go back to switch 1. Okay, so he is in VLAN 2010. That's correct. They didn't ask anybody to be in that VLAN right there. 2030, right? Oh, and by the way, for y'all that just like might have came in here, didn't get this yet. 101 Labs, Cisco CCNA version 4, authored by Paul Browning, co-authored by Farai Tafa. There's a link in the description box below if you want to get a copy of this lab. But you could also do this on Packet Tracer and GNS3 or even G, whatever floats your boat. What else we needed to do here? Remember that switches must be in the same VTP domain to share VLAN information via a trunk. Are they in the same VLAN VTP domain? I'm pretty sure they are. Show VTP status. Ping, test with ping. We did. I did, and it failed. So he's in Cisco domain, right? That's switch 1. Switch 2, we check his, oh, maybe because he didn't do that. Show VTP status. He is also in the Cisco domain. It's not pruning. He's in transparent mode, and the other one's in transparent mode. Sounds like you need sub interfaces in the router for the VLANs to have gateways. You would think so too, but they didn't call for it, and they didn't ask that. So let's see what else they asking for. What else we need to do here? Let's see the output. We put them in transparent mode. They're both in transparent mode. Let's check the interface. We was trying to ping 10.0.0.0.3, 10.0.0. We was trying to ping that .240, right? 10.0.0.0.3 from router 1. Verify that. Yep. From that, and we try to ping 10.0.0.3. Where is he at? I did do that. Yep. Go back to router 2. Haven't done VTP in so long. Trust me, it's been a minute. I mean, the last video we did it, the last 2 labs, but I just was like, I need to refresh this stuff. So that's why I like doing. That's why I like trying to lab. Show run interface R2. We got a little bit of R2. FA 0/0 troubleshooting we got to do here, right? It's not shut. It's in full duplex mode. Does he have a route? Show IP route. He's directly connected to the 10 network. He is also directly connected to the 10 network, right? I would just try pinging each gateway, hop to hop, source to source, map it out. Packet flows from point to point link. It will all respond in the lab generally. Yeah, you're right. That's true. Show. Ooh. I'm getting these I'm not even gonna point out what those are. Interface what was I gonna do? Oh, you said to ping that guy. Show run interface FA00. We did that already, right? He's in duplex. We said we want to show route ping 10.00.3. I didn't do anything differently. We made sure that these two are trunking, right? Switch 1 and switch 2. Show interface trunk. You were using layer 3 switch. Yeah, I am. You think that's the reason why I need to like create a sub interface or some sort of a routed interface on there? It's not routing or anything like that. I ain't done this in a minute neither, CLI soldier. I think the lab wants it to stay layer 2. Yeah, it does. That's what I was thinking. Because they didn't call for it. I'm following this step by step, so that's exactly what I was thinking. Let's see. We put that in a FA02. So this guy needs to be in the director's VLAN, right? No, that needs to be in the sales VLAN. Switch 2, right? Switch 2. FA02 needs to be in 2010. So that's going to be in sales VLAN. Let's make sure that's correct. Switch 2. Show run interface. You can probably ping switch to switch. Probably. Let's see. Well, there's no IP addressing on the switches. So how you gonna do that? Show run interface extended pings. GI 0/2. Auto negotiation. Access mode. I didn't hard code that one to be an access switch. I mean access port. Maybe we can do that on switch one. I did not hard code that port. Show run interface GI 0/2. I did not make one just as a loopback. I could do that. You're right, but they didn't ask for it. I'm just trying to follow it step by step. GI 0/2. And then put him in switch port mode access. It is an access port. So that's an access port. That is an access port. That is trunking. GI01 is trunking, right? There is now VLAN 2040 on switch 1. Really? Switch 1. Show Vlan Brief. Nah, 2030 is in VLAN. You almost had me there. But switch 2. So they had two different. They did have two different VLANs though. So that's what they called for. They said switch 1 needed to be. Keep going. Following that. Yep. Yeah, that one had 2030. This one had 2030 management VLAN, and then this one. These do ping. Yeah. Show Vlan Brief, right? Had sales and directors. Yeah, so that's 2040. Let me triple check that. I'm gonna have to triple check that. That's what it is. GI02 needed to be in the other VLAN. 2010. So this needs to be in 2010. I think CLI Soldier pointed it out. I think I have the port in the wrong VLAN. Let's try that. Let's put GI02, that one, supposed to be in 2010. Oh, that's what it is. They not in the same VLANs. They supposed to be in the same VLAN. So y'all know, check this out. We go back to switch 1. GI02, that one right there, is in 2010. 2010 VLAN. This also got to be in 2010 VLAN. So Fat Finger Squad in the building. Pepperjack, I understand. Yes, we could do a static route, but they did not call for all of this. That's the only reason why I'm not trying to veer off and to create my own lab and confuse myself and confuse all the newbies in here even more. So I think that's the issue there. And CLI Soldier pointed it out by getting me to look at these VLANs here. So let's put GI02 in the... No, that is correct. Well, let me go back to this guy. That one right there. Y'all see that? This is the difference. Check out 02. He's in 2040 there, and he's in 2010 there. Don't you need a route to ping device in a different network? You do. The routers have them. And these guys are in the same network. They're all in a 10 network. They don't have no kind of, they're not layer 3, they're layer 2. So they're not doing any routing. The only guys that's doing the routing is the routers. So let's put switch to GI02 in 2010. And we might make our mark if we can fix this damn thing. Interface GI0/2 switch port mode. Switch port access VLAN. We said what? 2010? And then, but they are in different VLANs. They were, and they weren't supposed to be. We need to put this in 2010 and that in 2010. They just created some superfluous VLANs just to kind of, show you that the VLANs are not going to come across to each other. Yeah, CLI Soldier pointed that out. Shout out to you. I need to make you a moderator. Anyways, go to router 1. We should theoretically be able to ping. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe that wasn't the problem. Don't look like it. But we did. That was one of the problems for sure. Ping 0003, right? So go to router, switch to, and verify that. VLANs are different. VLANs aren't different networks. They are different collision domains. Yes, exactly. Didn't I change the VLAN on that guy? 02 should be in VLAN. I didn't change it? Maybe I didn't do that. Interface GI02 switch port access VLAN 2010. Thought I did that. Show run interface GI0/2. He's in 2010 now. Show Vlan Brief. He's in 2010 now. Back to router 1. Come on, buddy. Failing. I was answering a question for. Oh, my bad. Chris. Router 2. That is in the correct VLAN. So we need to make sure 01 is trunking, which we did, right? Show interfaces trunk. No, wrong switch. Wrong device. Switch 1. Show interfaces trunk. We got a bonus troubleshooting part right here. 2010 and 2030 are allowed across the trunk. Is 2010 allowed across the trunk? Good question. It is. 2010. Same thing with switch 2. Let's see. On a switch, ports on a switch are different collision domains. Separate VLANs are separate broadcasts. Yes, that's correct, Kelvin. I remember you from a long time ago, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't you used to have a YouTube channel? Show VLAN. Show interfaces trunk on switch 2. Trunk. 2010 is allowed across the trunk. So we have 2010 across that trunk. 2040 is also allowed across that trunk, but we don't care about that because he's contained within himself right there. What else we got going on here? Let's see. Maybe I missed a step. Configure switch 1 and 2 in transparent mode, which we did. Both switches should be in a VTP domain named Cisco, which we did, all caps. Remember that switches must be in the same VTP domain to share VLAN information via the trunk, which we did. Let's triple check that. Oh, long day. It's long. Yes, you're right. It's a long night for me. Switch 1. I know I did this already though, but let's triple check. Always verify and verify and verify. That's what my trainer says at work. He always tells me, after you verify again, and then once you verify it again. Switch you do. Oh, well, maybe I gotta check you out then. Y'all shout out to Kelvin. Check his channel out. VTP status is Cisco is the domain name. We did that already, right? What else they said they wanted us to do? The switches need to be in the same VTP domain. Configure and verify FA01 between switching switch 1 and switch 2 as an 802.1q trunk, which that is a trunk, right? Which we did that. We've checked that multiple times. Configure and verify VLANs 2010 and 2030 on switch 1. Let's triple check that. 2010 and 2030 is on switch 1, right? We did that already, though. Same VTP domain or revision number. Let's see. It is the same VTP domain, right? Cisco, and on switch 2, show VTP status. Sounds worth a look. Yeah, I remember. I thought you took it down. I don't know why I thought you took it down a long time ago, and then was like frustrated with all kind of stuff that was going on. Maybe I'm gotten you mistaken for somebody else. So he's in transparent mode. They are running VVision numbers, but I don't know if that would stop it from pinging each other. Where's the revision? I don't see the. Oh, there it is, right there. Revision 0. Should make a community 2. Yeah, maybe I'll do that if I have the time. If I have the time, I'll start a community, maybe like a Discord server or something like that. That seems to be the thing these kids are doing nowadays. Configure verify VLANs 2010, 2030, which we did. With the names provided, which we did. Assign GI02, which we did. On switch 2 to 2010 as an access port, which we did. Let's check it again. Show run interface GI0/2. I thought that was the issue. I thought that was the issue with the VLAN. Let's check switch 1. Show run interface GI0/2. Doesn't matter in transparent. Yeah, you're right. It don't. But it's good to check anyway. 2010. He's in 2010. They're both in the same VLAN. So, and then that's trunking, and it's going across the trunk. What's best for labbing when it comes to learning curve, EVNG or GNS3? To be honest with you, I believe GNS3. It took me a minute to get the images to work on these bad boys right here. My GNS3 kept crashing, and the fix for me was to reinstall it, and then there's like this I think value that you got to remove from the switch, and then finally it worked because it crashed. If you go back my channel, you'll see 2 videos back. These switches were crashing. I ended up having to use Packet Tracer, but the best learning curve to even learn this stuff is really Packet Tracer. It's an easy executable to launch, and then you can just practice, just like right then and there. Drop switches, routers, IP phones, all kind of stuff on it. Oh Jesus, I want to get this over with. Let's see. Configure verify VLANs 2010 and 2040 on switch 2, which we did. Switch 2. Show Vlan Brief. I'm running these commands over and over, right? 2010 and 2040 is on here. They are. With the names provided above, which they are. Is 01 is trunking, right? CCNP with EVNG. Yep, I agree. Show interfaces trunk. We did that on him already, though, didn't we? 01 is trunking on him. And 01 is trunking on him as well, isn't he? Yep. More CML. Oh no, I've never used that before. I'm tired of running these same show commands. And I don't want to ghetto rig this lab just to make it work. I wanted to follow it, step by step here. Configure router 1 and router 3 fast Ethernet interfaces with the IP addresses 10.00.1/28, which we did. We'll do it slowly but surely. Show run interface FA0/0. 10.0.0.1.240 is the subnet mask. And then on router 2, he's supposed to be 10.0.0.0.3. He's not trunking here. Any VLAN pruning? Good question. We'll check, but I don't think they are. They better not be. Show run interface FA 0/0. Yeah, they're transparent mode. Let's see. Yeah, I configured that correctly, right? 10.0.0.3. And that's who we was trying to ping. This was the last task, y'all. That was it. I done triple checked everything. Fortunately, there is a solution to this lab, and maybe there's something that we can point out or find. The first successful ping times out due to ARC resolution. What if they're all timing out? Then that means, as I say, a subsequent package will be successful. Well, they're not successful. We configured router 1's interface to be 10.0.0.1, 255, 240. And then on router 3, he says he's router 3, and we did no shut, right? They're not shut down, those ports. No, they're not. Show IP interface brief, they're up. And let's just check it anyway. Show IP interface brief. If I can spell. Are all the interfaces up on the router? Good question, see, I didn't even catch that. But yeah, there's router 2. Go to router 1 and double check that guy, right? Right? That look good for y'all so far? Plant-based brother. Appreciate the super chat, man. I'm glad this helps, man. And I hope you got either Packet Tracer or GNS3 or even G, whatever, to follow along with these labs here, man. But I appreciate the super chat. Shout out to Plant-based brother. I need to be eating some plants, all this meat I've been eating. But today I've been fasting, so I haven't eaten anything yet. I said I got to get this lab with y'all. CLI wanted us to check all the interfaces. We go to router 1. Make sure that it's not shut, right? Show IP interfaces brief. He's up as well. So I'm not too sure what we're missing here. Can router 2 ping router 1? We might have to just create a static route, just like, who said that? Who said that there didn't need to be a static route? I think I might just do that just to get a rig it, man. 10.0.0.1. And let's just create a static route, because he don't call for a static route, but that's what they add. That's there. I guess I can ping from router 2 to router 1 for some odd reason. Can somebody explain that to me? Router 2, this guy can ping that guy. But for some reason, we couldn't get router 1 to ping router 2. Let's try that again. As y'all can see, I got 4 out of 5 pings. Is this a GNS3 bug? That's the other thing you're going to run into with these emulation. Software. Kiori, pruning is a way, just like it's what it sounds like. You're trimming, right? So let's say we had 1,000 VLANs coming across this trunk, right? But we don't want VLANs 750 to 1,000 to come across this trunk. What we're going to do is we're going to prune those last 250 VLANs. So now only VLAN 1 through 750 is going to come across this trunk. That's what pruning is. So what somebody was asking in here was, well, are there any VLANs being pruned? Maybe that's why we couldn't ping. Y'all see that? So I'm going to try router. I'm going to have router 1 try to ping router 2 again. That worked. Y'all see that? That's crazy. So we were able to ping from router 2 to router 1 for some odd reason. And y'all see, I didn't do nothing different. We ran a million show commands and it worked from there to there. So now let's see if router 1 can ping router 2. If it don't work, I'm calling it at night anyway, because I got to use the bathroom. I got to pee. I got to go eat. I've been fasting all day and I'm just like losing patience here. Let's go to router 1 and see if he can ping router 2. Ping 10.0.0.0. We said 3, right? And it worked. Somebody explain that to me, man. That's got to be a GNS3 bug. That has got to be a GNS3 bug. Because y'all see, we didn't do nothing differently. So anyways, just as a recap, we put these switches in VLAN, VTP Transparent mode, right? So any VLANs you create on here, they're going to stay within it. They're not going to propagate to another switch or whatever. They just going to stay within it. It's just like being immune to COVID-19 or something like that. You're not going to be able to pass on whatever you got to anybody else. It's going to stay within you, right? So we put both of these in VTP transparent mode. So we created VTP. We created VLAN. I think 20. What was the VLANs on here? Show. Let me see. Show CLS. Yeah, I think it's a GNS3 bug, bro. There's no way that should have been able to ping across. So I don't get it. That's the reason why. That deserves a million bugs. I'm gonna catch gray hairs playing with this application. But anyways, we do show VTP. What was gonna say? Oh, show Vlan Brief. Jesus, I'm on the wrong guy. Switch one. Look at that. Look at it's crashing. Look at that. Y'all see that? CPU hogs and all kind of. That's the stuff you're gonna run into. Y'all see that, man? Show Vlan Brief. Shout out to my man Glenford Burton in the building. Zero was no. So we created. Remember, we created on this guy VLAN 2030, right? If you go to switch 2, that VLAN did not propagate across. Look, we got another bug right there. CPU hog. As a matter of fact, I have a router that I'm troubleshooting at work, an MPLS router that has this same bug right here. We have to upgrade to iOS, which, by the way, I got to wake up early tomorrow to actually upgrade to iOS on the router. And we had that was the underlying problem. CPU hog. They call them memory leaks sometimes when you run into these issues. But this is the stuff you're gonna run into when you run in GNS3, man. These are just bugs. So don't fret if you're running into these problems either. So we go to switch 2, show Vlan Brief. And y'all remember on switch 1 we had VLAN 2010 and 2030. Switch 2 had VLANs 2010 and 2040, but those VLANs did not propagate across each other. That's what VTP transparent mode does. It allows you to stay transparent and don't pass on to any other VLAN. So if anybody got any questions, put it in the chat down below. Again, we use this book right here, 101 Labs, Cisco CCNA version 4, learn by doing. That's why I love this lab book, because we're actually doing hands-on stuff. I have hardware as well, but like I said, I won't be able to explain it without the topology and stuff like that. So that's why I try to do it on GNS3. But God forbid we got to use it. We're going to run into stuff like this. So I don't know. Maybe I got to try to figure something else out, try to get this hardware going, and maybe I'll I don't know, take a screenshot of the topology from the book and go from there. But this is the stuff we're going to run into, y'all. Take the good with the bad. Agreed, Glenn. Agreed. So GNS3 is it's like a blessing and a curse. We're able to run full emulation of these iOS images and be able to experiment with routing and switching and stuff like that. But this is just the stuff we're gonna run into. How much is this lab book? It's about 40 bucks, I believe. Yeah, about 40 bucks. There's a link down below in the description box. You'll see a link. Click that link. You'll be able to get this book. So far, we have done, well, we only done a couple. I skipped a couple. I did a couple on my own before I started doing these live labs. But we are on lab number 19, right? Lab number 19, which is configuring VTP transparent mode. Tomorrow, next lab is configuring extended VLANs on Cisco Catalyst switches. So extended VLANs, I believe, is anything above, correct me if I'm wrong, anything above VLAN 2003? I can't remember. Anybody remember? But there's a range of VLANs, right? You got VLANs 1 through 4095. The first half is like standard VLANs, and like the second half, I can't remember what the demarcation point is, but or the halfway mark is, but the other half are considered extended VLANs, and that's what we're gonna do in the next video. Book link down below. Get my hands on it. Appreciate that, Glenn. Check out this book, man. This is the book of 100. I guess you can get it from 101labs.net as well. The link in my box, in my description box, is an Amazon link, so you click that and you can get it from there. That's just a quick way to find it. Any other questions? Gonzalo in the building. You've been quiet tonight, man. I don't know. I guess you've been just observing. He got a cat in a box there. It's never null. That usually throws an error. Pruning allows to only allow select VLANs to be propagated. That's correct, Pepper Jack. That was, I forgot who asked that question. I believe it was Kiori that asked that question. You pinged an extra 0. I sure did, Danny. Check this out. Danny pointed this out, and I saw that, and I was like, I wonder if anybody caught that. Where is he at? A router 1. Y'all see this typo? Good eye, Danny. I put an extra 0 and it still came across. Y'all see that? This is why, like, GNS3, it's a blessing and a curse. Y'all see that? Danny caught. I didn't think anybody else caught that, but good eye, Danny. I put the wrong IP address and it still pinged across. We'll try it again just for the sake of completion. 10.0.0.3. Fat Finger Squad in the building. I'm gonna trademark that. Fat Finger Squad. Shout out to I believe it was Gonzalo that came up with that name. But yeah, we were able to ping across 65, 55, 45. No, I don't believe that's for ASs. I don't believe that is for VLANs. Can you create a VLAN that big? That's not a bug. So how come I was able to 10.0.0.0.3? So you can do that? That's proper? I thought that was a typo. Okay. I thought I didn't know that. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. Believe a 0 was nulled. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. 03 is 3. That's good to know too. Good to know. Now I know. But good eye, Danny, and thanks for that information, Kelvin. Gonna watch a few INE videos. Okay, holla. Yeah, we're pretty much done here, man. We was able to ping across. If anybody else got any questions, I'm wrapping it up as well. I wanted to try to keep these labs under an hour. I guess we went 23 minutes over troubleshooting, I guess, a GNS3 bug, I guess. If that's a GNS3 bug, y'all let me know. If it's not, then maybe we did something wrong. But I think it was a GNS3 bug. But anyways, for now, comment down below. Make sure y'all subscribe to this channel. We're going to try to do these Monday through Thursday. I'm going to try my best to do these Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll stay in the chats to answer any other questions, or if anybody else has any other questions, hit me up. For now, comment, like, subscribe to the network.